Hello my friends, this is Joseph from LuoVita. Today I'm going to talk about the best ways to avoid procrastination. Procrastination. Because, a lot of people have this problem. I have this problem. It's a real problem, for a lot of people, and, it can be very serious sometimes. So if you're struggling with this procrastination, we are going over some tips to overcome it, and once and for all. You can start by evaluate your situation and your goals. For example, there are some procrastination techniques. For example, identifying and creating these small steps and setting deadlines, especially for tasks who have no immediate outcomes. That means it's have a long-term project, for example, and this will help you to succeed. So, how do you do this? It's a bit confusing, but we are going to put this in steps. So first thing, create a to-do list. And to-do list is really a good way to organize and prioritize your tasks. I do it all the time. And sometimes it's too much. You have to manage this correctly, If not, it stresses you out. So to avoid this, for example, create a to-do list that is really, where you have an overview. And you must set the most important things on the top. And this will really prevent you from becoming overwhelmed with all this. So what you can do is also create these columns where you put selected or important, then in progress and done. Or if you just tick it off, for example, reminders on Apple, if you just tick it off, it just disappears. So this is a good way. If you don't want to disappear, it's better that you have an overview what you already did. For example, you have an idea where you're going. So you have more control over everything if you do this. So, but don't have more than 5 big tasks to do on a day because it's too much, right? Start, for example, for the most important task in the morning, and also the most difficult. Yeah, the most difficult and the most important thing in the morning or at first. So another way you can do a to-do list is to, as I said, break down this in smaller goals, in smaller steps. And for example, if you want to clean the house, instead of just clean the house, you write, for example, clean the kitchen, clean the living room, the bedroom. And so it's easier to complete all these little steps. And this is for everything, right? You can just, and don't forget to put also some hour or time, a date as a deadline, because this will make it more urgent for you also. If you do it digitally, you can also put some reminders and set alarms on this. And this is also some good way to see when it's done or when you should start. But you should take time to write this. The better is to do it the day before. In the evening, for example, write what is really important for me tomorrow, and then write it down. And in the morning, you don't have to worry. You already know, yes, I'm starting with this. This is the most important thing to do, and all the rest can wait, really. And if you do this and set a timer, you just see how fast time passes. It's incredible, and it's urgent then. So. But it's not easy, procrastination is really not easy. And it has, sometimes is inside us. That means, we must identify why sometimes it's easy. Why do we procrastinate? For example, you may do it because you don't feel capable, or competent. It happens to everyone, to me, to a lot of people. And it's important to understand why we feel this way. And we must work on this internally to see how you can. Another reason sometimes is our lack of energy. If we're tired, and this is, for example, we are overworking, or we have some kind of burnout, or having a poor diet also, So we must reduce our stress levels. And, take regular breaks, for example, eating healthy food, drink a lot of water, for example. All this helps us to overcome this lack of energy. I know it's not easy, and once, for example, exercise. If you do exercise, it just boosts your organism. And then, for example, in the morning, and then this will help you a lot. So, and another reason why why people procrastinate is this fear of failure. We all have this sometimes, so, but you don't, it's our like our destiny sometimes. So this is a big issue sometimes. But remember, everybody fails. Everybody fails. So embracing failure, as they said, is, I mean, it's not easy, but if you can learn from this. So, and then, having these clear priorities is the next step. The next step to avoid procrastination, because if you're struggling to figure out, for example, your priorities, then ask for help sometimes. Or work with someone, or a mentor, or a colleague. But if we are really chronic in procrastination, we must really find someone that make us accountable. So we report to this person, and this keeps us on track. It's very important. And away from distractions, because distractions, there are a lot, But if you set a timer, you see how fast time passes. You give yourself, for example, half an hour for doing something. It's incredible. And if you do something else in this time, you see all this time you didn't use, for example, for what you should do. But if you just time if you set a timer, for example, for the things when you're not doing what you should do, you see all this time that we waste. And so, for example, if you're struggling, for example, to start on a project, break it down on smaller tasks, and then it motivates you easily. Or more easily. And this, for example, if you're working on this presentation, a long presentation, okay, like I'm doing sometimes, break down in several steps or chapters, for example. If you want to write something, break it down in chapters. Introduction, then the preparation and everything. You can also use another technique it's emulating a social or a role model. Someone you see how he works, that can help you. And if you really, really struggle and can't get over this procrastination, you seek help. There are people there that helps you. Important also, create your own space, your quiet space. So it's helpful, For example, a room in your house, or where you can shut the door, and it's only there for you. You are only there for doing this project, your work, no distractions, television, social media, everything. If you have really your dedicated space, this avoids really, really sometimes this procrastination, because you can't just get out without doing it. And this means also creating this atmosphere that is calming, relaxing. For example, if you have a sofa or a carpet that insulated also the sound, it feels less stressful when working. And also our brain, it focuses better, because we don't have the sounds coming in and other distractions. So there are a lot of anti-procrastination techniques, for example. And another one is eliminate these weak options. That means choosing tasks, and you choose tasks and compare them, and you see what are the best tasks. So eliminate the ones that are really not really important. And for example, you can also associate some consequences if you don't do it. For example, if you have something distracting you and it just hinders you from doing this project, this will give you like this check, this check in your head. If I do this distraction will. So you just set this as a trigger, and this distraction will just get away, because it's really important for you not to get or to get the project done. So keep in mind, this pain of procrastinations is sometimes worse than the actual work that we are doing. So this pain that we have, so it's in our head. Once we start, for example, doing something, it becomes easier, and because you will focus on the end goal, and you have your motivation to finish this. So as I said, the problem are distractions. I know it's not always possible to eliminate distractions, but try it. Try to focus on your task and avoid checking your phone, scrolling social media or something, So it's easy also to get distracted sometimes by noise. But what you can do is, for example, put earplugs or use noise cancelling headphones, something like that, If you're really a procrastinator who struggles with this perfectionism, like I'm doing, but I'm getting better at this, It's also helpful to talk about your goals to someone you trust or someone who understands you, like a college, or ask for their perspective, for example, about what you're doing, and see if it aligns really what you think you will achieve. I don't know if you understand, but you may feel like you may also need to work on this overcome your fear of not doing well. So this perfectionism is really some bad thing sometimes. There are people on the other side that are really, they don't plan anything. And, but I'm not really this guy, because sometimes if you don't plan, you are stressed out, For example, it's important that you have someone that just helps you to see this, for example. Because then, even if you look inside, you see why I am taking so long to get this done. What's holding me back, for example. But be careful not turn this procrastination into this dependency on someone. So that means if you don't get this accountability, you don't do it. So then you're not really managing this procrastination, because you are expecting that someone will force you to do it. Another way to avoid this procrastination, if you're a perfectionist, for example, is identify the smallest small steps you can do, to go to your goal. That means give yourself permission to make these mistakes. That's really important, Starting, for example, with a draft about something. And, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's especially helpful if you want to, if you tend to procrastinate because of these beliefs we have. And as I said, another way is to set deadlines, because this is useful. For example, if you have some tasks that feel more concrete and creating this sense of urgency. If you set daily, weekly and monthly goals, or sub-goals that aligns with your overall project or outcome, this will create a plan for you, and it's easier for you to achieve. As I said, a simple timer will help you to stay on tasks. It's incredible. Whether you, for example, if you're studying or for exam, or if you're working on a project, as I said, set a timer and work on this specific task until it goes off. Then stop, This will stop you also from getting distracted, because you see it's counting, it's really urgent. Your time is passing. So, if you want to make it more challenging, use a timer for all your tasks, but not at the same time, of course. So it's also easier, for example, to concentrate on creative tasks in the morning, and let this analytical stuff or repetitive stuff for the afternoon when you have, for example, less energy and you're not able to focus so much. And as I said, don't be afraid to ask for help, because it's important, we are not alone in this. And celebrate your little victories. When you achieve something, give yourself a reward, make a pause, go out, talk to someone. Like rewards like this, this gets us in this routine. Let's say it like this, okay? I hope it was helpful for you, because this is really something I'm struggling sometimes. A lot of people struggle. It's not easy, But let me know in the comments. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter at LuoVita.com. Once a week I send out ideas and strategies how we can put our thoughts, clear and see these opportunities coming. So let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. So take care of yourself. Until next time. Bye bye.